Hello and welcome to the Weichert Report's next podcast on the real Russian threat in 2018. I'm Brandon J. Weichert, and this is your world. Today, Russia is a shadow of its former self. Its population is unwell, its fertility rates are at all-time lows, and its economy is puttering along due to it being so closely tethered to the volatile price of global oil. Despite the deficiencies within Russia's system, there is little doubt that their recent geopolitical moves pose an existential threat to our Eastern European friends. Russia is intent on also dividing and weakening an already weakening and dividing European Union, and the United States is finding it increasingly difficult to rally and deploy a credible deterrent force in the age of constrained budgets and at a time when America's military is overstretched to its breaking point. Yet for all the rhetoric surrounding the threat that Russia poses, thankfully, the Russian threat is nothing like the kind of global threat that it was during the Cold War. In coming weeks, the Weichert Report will release its first ever electronic book documenting and detailing the extent of what we will be talking about briefly in this podcast. Indeed, in the post-Cold War period, Russia is, at best, a meddling regional power with a great state ambition. If not for the existence of its massive and modern nuclear force, in the words of Ukrainian dissident Anatoly Gubin, Russia would be on par with either Kazakhstan or Nigeria. So, what is to be done? First, we must identify the specific nature of the threat. In the Cold War, the Soviet Union threatened the world everywhere all at once, all of the time. This necessitated the massive American defense budget as well as the increasingly expanding spate of multilateral institutions such as the United Nations, the NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the European Community, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and the litany of other institutions that the United States came to rely on to buttress its geopolitical power in the bipolar or maybe even tripolar competition between the United States, the Soviet Union, and if you read the Weichert Report, you'd know my feelings about how the People's Republic of China was also heavily involved in the Cold War to the point that it actually looked more like a tripolar dance as opposed to a bipolar dynamic. But that's another subject. Thankfully, today, the threat the Russians pose the world is not anywhere near what it was in the Cold War. In fact, there are really only four specific ways that Russia directly threatens the United States. And they are in the realm of energy, conventional arms, cyber warfare, and strategic vision. Report's forthcoming ebook, Strategies for Countering the Real Russian Threat in 2018. You will be given an in-depth assessment on Russian capabilities and intentions in all four of these threat areas: the aforementioned energy, conventional arms, cyber warfare, and the oft-forgotten but extremely important area of strategic vision, which, frankly, Vladimir Putin has apparently gotten a significant lead on us in. More importantly, you will see that Russia is far from being a monolithic juggernaut that is portrayed in the media, and that the United States actually has the means to counter and roll back these Russian threats outside of the military realm and with relative ease, should we ever decide to employ the solutions that I provide. So I hope that you will give the ebook a read. The information contained in this forthcoming book is research that has been conducted over the last year in order to provide you with a comprehensive analysis of the threat posed and to give you and policymakers and businesses alike a set of recommendations that might not otherwise be available to you from the usual suspects in the geopolitical analysis field. And the best part? The ebook is under 30 pages. You can get through it in an afternoon. For the Weichert Report, I'm Brandon Weichert. Thank you for your time.